Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. This time we're exploring the world of adaptogens. We'll be diving deep into The Complete Guide to Adaptogens by Agatha Nove.
It's a really great book.
Yeah, I'm loving it so far.
Yeah.
Seems like everyone's talking about adaptogens these days.
It's definitely a hot topic right now.
So for our listeners who are maybe just starting to learn about them, what exactly are adaptogens?
Well, they're basically natural substances, usually herbs and roots, that help your body deal with stress.
Okay, so that's the basic idea.
Yeah.
But what makes them so special? What sets them apart from, say, just taking a vitamin?
That's a great question. The thing about adaptogens is that they don't just target one specific thing. They work on a more holistic level, helping your body adapt to all kinds of stress.
So it's more about building resilience.
Exactly. It's about giving your body the tools it needs to handle whatever life throws your way.
I like that. It's like building up your inner strength instead of just masking the symptom.
Got it.
This all sounds amazing, but I have to admit I'm a little skeptical. How do we know these adaptogens really work? And they're not just some, trendy health fad.
Well, for starters, they've been used in traditional medicine systems for centuries, so it's not like they just appeared out of nowhere.
True.
And modern science is starting to catch up. There's more and more research being done, and the results are looking pretty promising.
That's good to hear. What kind of research is being done? What are they finding?
Well, they're looking at all sorts of things, like how adaptogens can help with stress, anxiety, fatigue, even immune function.
Wow, that's a pretty wide range.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And remember, the Soviets were really into adaptogens. They were using them to enhance the performance of their athletes and even their military.
I had heard about that. That's actually what got me interested in adaptogens in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
It's fascinating to think about these natural substances being used to give people an edge.
For sure.
So it sounds like there's a good mix of traditional wisdom and modern science backing up the use of adaptogens. But even so, I'm always a little wary when it comes to trying new things, especially when it comes to my health.
I hear ya.
So I have to ask, are there any risks involved in using adaptogens?
That's a really important question. And the short answer is, it depends
On what?
on the specific adaptogen you're using, how much you're taking, and your overall health status.
Okay, so it's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Nope, not at all.
Are there any general guidelines for staying safe with adaptogens?
Definitely. First of all, it's always a good idea to start slow. Don't just jump in and start taking a bunch of different adaptogens all at once.
Okay, so start slow.
Yeah, and listen to your body, pay attention to how you're feeling, and if you notice any negative side effects, stop taking the adaptogen and talk to your doctor.
Good advice.
And it's always a good idea to consult with your doctor or a qualified herbalist, especially if you have any pre-existing health conditions or are taking any medications.
Makes sense.
They can help you determine which adaptogens are right for you and make sure there are no potential interactions.
Okay, so safety first.
Always.
I'm glad we covered that.
Yeah.
Now, let's get practical. How do you actually use these things? Do they come in pills, powders, potions?
All of the above. Adaptogens come in all sorts of forms. You can find them as capsules, powders, tinctures, even teas.
Wow, so there are a lot of options.
Yeah, there really are. And the great thing is you can often find ways to incorporate them into your daily routine without having to make any major changes.
I like that. I'm all about simple and sustainable.
Me too.
So tell me more about these different forms. What are the pros and cons of each?
All right, let's start with capsules. They're probably the most convenient option, easy to take on the go,
Yeah, I can see that.
but sometimes they contain fillers or additives, which some people prefer to avoid.
Right.
Powders are another popular choice. They're versatile. You can add them to smoothies, yogurt, oatmeal, even just mix them with water. And they're often more potent than capsules because they're less processed.
Okay, so powders are good for people who want more control over their dosage and ingredients.
Exactly.
What about tinctures?
Tinctures are concentrated liquid extracts made by soaking the herbs in alcohol or glycerin.
Interesting.
They're usually taken by dropping a few drops under the tongue or adding them to water.
Do they taste bad?
Some of them can be a little bitter, but others are actually quite pleasant.
Okay, so tinctures are for people who don't mind a little bit of a strong flavor.
Yeah, pretty much.
And what about teas?
Teas are a great way to enjoy the benefits of adaptogens in a more gentle and relaxing way.
I love tea, so I'm definitely intrigued by that option.
They're easy to make. Just steep the herbs in hot water for a few minutes.
And you can find pre-made adaptogen tea blends, right?
Absolutely. There are tons of different blends available, so you can find one that suits your specific needs and tastes.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm learning so much. I had no idea There are so many different ways to use adaptogens. I'm feeling really inspired to start incorporating them into my own life.
I'm excited for you.
Now, I know we're just scratching the surface here, but I'm already feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the options.
Yeah, it can be a lot to take in.
So for someone who's just starting out, where do you recommend they begin?
Well, I think the best place to start is by identifying your goals.
What do you mean?
I mean, what are you hoping to achieve by using adaptogens? Are you looking to reduce stress, improve your sleep, boost your energy?
I see.
Once you know what you're hoping to achieve, you can start to research which adaptogens are best suited for those goals.
Makes sense.
And of course, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor or a qualified herbalist to get personalized recommendations.
Okay, so first, identify your goals, then do your research, and talk to your doctor.
Exactly.
I'm starting to feel more confident about this whole adaptogen thing, but I'm still curious to learn more about specific adaptogens and how they can be used to address different needs.
Well, that's perfect, because that's exactly what we're going to dive into next.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Me neither.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go! So, are you ready to meet some of these adaptogenic superstars?
I'm all ears.
Okay, let's start with a classic. Rhodiola.
Rhodiola. I've heard of that one.
It's pretty popular. And for good reason.
What's so great about it?
Well, it's known for its ability to help the body adapt to stress.
Okay, that's something we could all use a little help with.
Right. And it's also been shown to improve mental focus and energy levels.
So it's like a brain booster.
You could say that. It's often used by students and athletes to help them perform at their best.
Interesting. I'm always looking for natural ways to improve my focus and concentration.
Well, rhodiola might be worth checking out.
I'll have to do some more research on that one.
Now, another popular adaptogen is ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha, that's another one I've heard of.
Yeah, it's been used in Ayurvedic medicine for centuries.
Now, what's it good for?
It's known for its calming and restorative properties. It's often used to help with anxiety, stress, and insomnia.
So it's like a natural chill pill.
Kinda, yeah. It helps to balance out the stress hormones in your body and promote a sense of relaxation.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
I could definitely use a little more relaxation in my life.
Who couldn't? Now, if you're looking for an energy boost, you might want to try eleuthero.
Eleuthero, that's a new one for me.
It's also known as Siberian ginseng.
Ah,
It's been traditionally used to increase energy, stamina, and endurance.
so it's like a natural energy drink.
You could say that, but without the jitters and crash.
That's a plus.
And it's also been shown to support immune function.
Wow, so it's a multitasker.
For sure.
These adaptogens are sounding more and more impressive by the minute.
I know, right? They're like nature's little helpers, helping us to thrive in this crazy world.
I like that. Nature's little helpers.
All right, let's talk about another adaptogen that I find particularly fascinating. Holy basil.
Holy basil, like the herb.
Yep, that's the one.
I use that in cooking all the time.
It's delicious, but it's also a powerful adaptogen.
Really?
Yeah, it's been used in Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years to help the body cope with stress and promote emotional well-being.
Wow, I had no idea.
It's also a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory.
So it's good for your body inside and out.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see why this book is called The Complete Guide to Adaptogens.
It covers so much ground.
All right, what other adaptogenic gems do we have in store?
Let's talk about schizandra.
Schizandra, okay, I'm ready.
This one's known as the five-flavor fruit.
5 flavor fruit.
Yeah, because it literally embodies all 5 basic tastes. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and pungent.
Whoa, that's wild.
It's a pretty unique adaptogen.
What are its benefits?
Well, it's been traditionally used to enhance mental clarity, focus, and endurance.
So it's like rhodiola and eleuthero combined?
In a way, yeah. But it also has some unique properties of its own. It's a potent antioxidant. And it's been shown to support liver health and detoxification.
This is incredible. I'm learning so much about these amazing plants.
Me too. It's like
Yeah.
a whole new world has opened up to me.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that we have this book to guide us.
It's an invaluable resource.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've talked about a lot of really amazing adaptogens.
Yeah, my head is spinning a little.
I know, right? It's a lot to take in.
There's just so much to learn about these plants.
Oh,
But it's fascinating stuff.
it really is.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of what adaptogens are. We've talked about the benefits of some of the most popular ones. And we've even touched on some of the potential risks and precautions. But I think it would be helpful to circle back to that last point for a minute.
You mean the risks and precautions?
Yeah, exactly. Because I know some of our listeners might be feeling a little hesitant to start using adaptogens. especially if they're not familiar with them.
That's understandable.
So let's talk about how to use adaptogens safely and responsibly.
All right, where should we start?
Well, I think one of the most important things is to make sure you're getting your adaptogens from a reputable source.
Absolutely. You want to make sure that the products you're using are high quality and pure.
Exactly. You don't want to be taking something that's contaminated or adulterated.
Right. And unfortunately, there are some companies out there that cut corners.
So how can our listeners make sure they're getting the good stuff?
Well, there are a few things to look for. First, check to see if the company is certified by a third-party organization, like the American Herbal Products Association or the United States Pharmacopoeia.
Okay, so look for certifications.
Yeah, and you can also read online reviews to see what other customers are saying about the company and their products.
That's a good tip.
And of course, you can always ask your doctor or a qualified herbalist for recommendations.
So sourcing is key.
Definitely.
Now, what about dosage? How do you know how much of an adaptogen to take?
That's a great question, and unfortunately, there's no easy answer. It depends on a lot of factors, like the specific adaptogen you're using, your age, weight, and overall health, and the reason you're taking it.
Okay, so it's pretty individualized.
Very much so.
So what's the best way to figure out the right dosage for you?
Well, I always recommend starting low and slow.
What do you mean?
I mean, start with a small dose
Right.
and gradually increase it over time until you find the dose that works best for you.
Like, this is start low, go slow.
Exactly. And pay attention to your body. If you notice any negative side effects, like headaches, upset stomach, or insomnia, then reduce your dose or stop taking the adaptogen altogether.
Good advice.
And of course, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor before starting any new supplement.
Especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking any medications.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked about sourcing, dosage, and talking to your doctor. Is there anything else our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, it's important to remember that adaptogens are not a quick fix.
I was just thinking that.
They take time to work.
So you're not going to feel the effects overnight.
Probably not. It might take a few weeks or even months to see the full benefits.
Okay, so patience is key.
Definitely. And it's also important to remember that adaptogens are not a substitute for a healthy lifestyle.
What do you mean?
I mean, they can be a helpful addition to a healthy diet, regular exercise, and stress management techniques, but they're not going to magically fix all your problems.
So it's all about balance.
Exactly. Adaptogens can be powerful tools, but they work best when they're part of a holistic approach to well-being.
It's been such a great conversation. I've learned so much about adaptogens, and I'm feeling really excited to start incorporating them into my own life.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I know our listeners are probably feeling the same way.
I hope so.
So before we wrap things up, I want to remind everyone that we have a special offer for our listeners.
Yeah, tell them about it.
You can get a free PDF copy of The Complete Guide to Adaptogens by Agatha Novale. Just visit linktr.e-autopictons.
It's a fantastic resource, and it's packed with even more information about adaptogens.
Than we could possibly cover in this episode.
So be sure to check it out.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of adaptogens. We hope you learned a lot, and we encourage you to explore these amazing plants for yourself. Until next time, stay curious and stay well.